So that's an awesome thing. So it can be done. And I'm not racist, and it can be done with black women.
Yeah.
So believe in you, and I'm just gonna leave. ShaToya. Hi y'all.
Hello.
Which is the good wife? Tasha, which is
The black one is good. You just got to, stay where Shantae was.
Ah, come on.
But no, the black one is pretty good. Because remember, she went around.
Mic check, mic check. Y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
True. Okay, my name is ShaToya, like she said, ShaToya Johnson. And I'm here because obviously Natashia thinks enough of me that she would ask me to impart into you. So I'm very grateful, I'm very thankful of that. I don't take that for granted. At your age, you're very impressionable, whether you realize it or not. At this age, you're sponges. So the things that we take in and the things that we allow into our space, they help develop us. So I don't take for granted her allowing me to come in and to speak to you. So my topic today is love. Love. How many of you, go ahead, say it. How many of you believe that you know what love is? How many of you can tell me what love is? And I want to hear from some people that I haven't heard from, like you. I ain't gonna point you out, but when I walk past you, you know what they do you with the glasses hiding your face. You. So would either of you like to tell me what you think love is? Nobody? Okay, how many of you have a boyfriend? Raise your hand. So everybody trying to act like they don't have a boyfriend. Everybody single?
No judges.
Okay, parents, put your hand over your eyes.
Go ahead, Caleb.
I can't do it. I got you.
And I saw some of you all, I'm observant like that. So I saw some of y'all on the phone the whole time y'all doing that. So I already know what them texts be about. So again, does somebody want to share with me what they think love is, or their interpretation of love? I love you, sweetheart.
Monet.
But we heard from you a lot
Monet.
today. So I'm going to ask somebody
Love
else
that.
if that's okay with you. Anybody else? All right. Sweetheart, can you tell me what you think love is? Sit right here. Because we might have to work through this. Come on. You don't even gotta take the mic. You can just kind of tell me in my ear and then I'll kind of repeat it like, okay, she said. Not all this pressure, just
Look at some.
get back on your phone.
We are all queen. I can't say this all, but I thought I'd give a distraction.
Awesome. So she said love is how much you care for a particular person.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
True. Y'all give my hand. What's your name? Anastasia. See, one thing about it is you have to be careful when you're in the room with certain people because the quietest person oftentimes has what you need.
Yes, sir.
So you have to be careful how you treat people. You have to be careful not to ostracize people because you never know what they have down inside of them. And you never know how they can impart into your life. You never know, how they can bless you and how they can help you on your journey of life. Anybody else can tell us what they think love is? Yeah.
I think love is having someone who loves you back and not judge you on your flaws and
Yeah, that's good.
Listen, what I told y'all about people that ain't really saying much. So love is, first of all, it's not judgmental, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it's accepting, correct? That's That's real good. Anybody else? Okay.
I think love is not based in the outside, but in the inside.
Okay. So break that down. Since you got deep on us, then bring it on home.
I think it's not like, yes, people think because they like somebody body, they mean they love them, but it doesn't mean they love you because they just like your body, not you.
Okay. I like.
Love is forgiving and unconditional.
All right.
Yeah.
Forgiving and unconditional. All right, I'm gonna take two more people, please. Go ahead. Sacrifice. What you know about sacrifice? All right. You know about sacrifice at 18, girl? All right, and one more. Somebody else. Understanding. That's mighty. You gave me chills when you said that, actually.
There's something about up there. There's something up there.
Okay. So now that we've defined love as being non-judgmental, caring about someone, being forgiving. What was yours? Understanding. Sacrifice. So all of those things, and you all chose to talk about what it means to love someone when you gave me those answers. So if we define love the way you all defined it, how many of you truly and honestly believe that you love yourselves? How many of us forgive ourselves? How many of us are understanding of ourselves? How many of us are concerned with our well-being? If you can honestly say that, raise your hand and say that you forgive yourself. That's deep. That's deep, but it's a truth. It's a harsh reality. When we define love, we often want to talk about love in the manner of how we are displaying it towards others and an affection that we have for others. But that same love is required for us. That same love is a necessity for your matriculation, your maturing, your development in this thing called life. So if we're going to love ourselves, I need everybody to get a pen and a piece of paper. And Shantae spoke on this as well. Miss Natashia touched on this. But we're going to break it down just a little bit more so that we have something to regurgitate later on.
Everybody have something to write on?
Yes.
Okay, so the first step to loving ourselves, I'm not talking about anyone else. I'm not talking about a boyfriend, cousin, mama, daddy. I'm talking about loving ourselves. The first step to loving ourselves, we're going to say, is acceptance. Write that down. Acceptance. Acceptance. Kayla, can you tell me real quick what is acceptance? What does acceptance mean to you?
Acceptance to me means that you accept what you've done, do, or think, and like you understand what you're doing or what you have done.
Absolutely. When we accept something, we acknowledge it. We own it. We look in the mirror, even if what we see is not pretty to us. So even if you don't like where you are, who you are, what you've done, your circumstance, your situation. In order for you to truly love yourself, you're going to have to accept those things about you. Has anybody ever heard the saying, the first step to fixing any problem is to first acknowledge that there is one? Mm-hmm. Okay, that holds very true. And, you know, we'll get into that more later, but I don't want you to think that it's necessary to fix yourselves. But you definitely have to be aware of who you are and where you are. You know, even if I remember growing up, I would stay in the mirror. And the reason I would stay in the mirror is because I was determined to find things that I liked about myself. So even according to other standards and according to societal norms, according to videos, and according to some of my peers and so forth, even if I was unattractive to them, I forced myself to look in the mirror to find things that I felt attractive about myself. Even in those moments of not feeling pretty, because I don't care what any of you all say, if there's 20 of you in this room, at least 15 of you look in the mirror and don't like what you see at times. And that's normal. That's normal. But we have to accept that. We have to know that. We have to be aware of that. There has to be an awareness. All right? So the first step is what?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. And you want to unbiasedly reflect on yourself and who you are and what you do and why you do what you do. Pray for revelation. Listen to your messengers. See, a lot of times, especially in our culture, we define everything as hating. If somebody comes to us and tell us, you ain't have to say that to her like that, automatically they hate. Ain't nobody hating on you. Ain't nobody hating on you. You have to get to a place where you can allow people to edify you. Because God sends messengers. He sends people and places people in your path and surrounding you that can, again, impart into you, that can edify you, that can help you develop. And so if you've turned your ears off to those people and you've written everything off as hating, then unfortunately, you'll never be able to accept who and where you are. So be very careful with that word. I would like us to stop throwing that around so loosely. She hating. Now, trust me, there's some haters out there, but we have to not perceive everything as hating.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody comes to you with something negative, I'd like to challenge you to go and pray about it. And you may say, you know, you might not be at an age where you have that faith to know that I can just go pray about it and he'll bring revelation. But I'm asking you to trust me, trust the God in me, trust Tasha for having me here. And I'm telling you to go and pray about it. When someone comes to you with something that's negative, I want you to ask God for revelation. All right, ask God to give you revelation about that situation. Because chances are, the person is probably not hating on you. Even if their delivery is wrong, even if they got their own problems, that still doesn't mean that they can't call you out on some of yours. And so we have to accept who we are, accept the messengers, accept the people that God places in our lives. All right? And we have to do that because it's necessary for our emotional and our mental well-being. You know, if you live a life of denial, number one, you'll never know who you are. If you never honestly say to yourself, I don't like what I see in the mirror. If you don't honestly say to yourself, I hate that I'm always mad. If you don't honestly say to yourself, I have a bad attitude. When will you ever come out of that? You know, so it's necessary for you to accept it so that you can grow from it. All right? And so after we've accepted those things about ourselves, we also have to understand that we are accountable. So that's the second thing you're writing down. You wrote down acceptance. Now the second thing you're writing down is accountability. I want everyone to repeat after me. I am accountable.
I am accountable
for my own happiness.
for my own happiness.
I am accountable
I am accountable
for my own self-love.
for my own self-love.
All right? And so to be accountable means what? Who can tell me what being accountable is? Accountable is responsibility. That's accepting your role in your situation. Accountability. You have to assume the responsibility for your own happiness, for the emotions that you feel, and more so your reactions or your responses to those emotions. Because there are going to be some realities, there'll be some things that you don't like, and some things that you want to change. Remember those 3 things that you wrote down that you wanted to change? You have complete ownership of those things. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, life has its way of affecting, you know, who we are. You know, for instance, someone can say, you know, I'm always angry. And I'm always angry because my mom on drugs. My mom is not on drugs. But, you know, I'm just giving you an example. And so you can justify your anger, your desire to always fight, your desire to always want to get somebody together, your desire to be rude. You can justify certain behaviors all day long. But the harsh reality of it is you're responsible for how you respond to those things. In other words, you have a choice, okay? Yeah, I'm always angry because my mom was on drugs. But the accountability comes in and says, I'm not going to allow this to cripple me. I'm not going to allow this to keep me unhappy. I'm going to break this cycle. I'm going to break this curse. I'm going to nip this in the bud. You know, whatever verbiage you want to use, at the end of the day, as long as you understand that you are accountable for your happiness, you are accountable for your joy, you are accountable for your peace. You determine whether or not you want to release or give away your joy. You determine whether or not you want to release your peace. You know, those things are God-given. Those things reside in us because God resides in us. Y'all follow? If y'all don't follow, you could just raise your hand and I'll double it back or try to explain it a little more. So accountability. So we must accept who we are. We must look in the mirror even when it's not pretty. We must accept. All right. Outside of accepting, we must hold ourselves accountable for where we are. And once we accept who we are and we hold ourselves accountable, it's at that place where we should develop an appreciation for who we are. So we accept it, we're holding ourselves accountable, and we have an appreciation. That's the third thing. In order to love yourself, you're going to have to appreciate yourself. And when I say appreciate yourself, as ShaToya said, you know, there's a uniqueness about you. God has created you or has given you something that no one else possesses. There is something about you that nobody else can do like you, can say like you. There's something that God has given you that is all your own. As Shantae said, fearfully and wonderfully made. So those things that you possess, your talents, your gifts, that's your uniqueness. Those are things that we have to find an appreciation for. Because there's nobody like us that possesses those things. So we must accept ourselves, we must hold ourselves accountable, and we must appreciate who we are. Why must you appreciate who you are? Well, in order for you to maintain your happiness, you have to appreciate who you are.
That's right.
You know, because there are going to be some times when you look in that mirror and what you see is so offensive to you that it's going to affect your morale. It's going to affect your spirit. You won't be as joyful, as happy as you are normally. So the only way for you to maintain that is by you appreciating yourself, appreciating your shortcomings, appreciating those insecurities, appreciating those things that make you an individual. All right. So accept, accountability, and appreciate.